everybody, Norm from Tested here at San Diego Comic-Con, and we're doing a kind of a booth tour of the massive Hasbro booth because they work with so many different awesome brands. Chris, it is great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you again.
I know, I didn't see you at Wonderfest this year because I know
I was so busy.
Busy working on products.
Yeah, actually I was in China visiting factories, working on our last HasLab, the Ghost, also working on this. So yeah, there's so much stuff going on. Super exciting.
So as folks out there might know, HasLab is the kind of the campaigns that you guys run to make these
dream projects
that otherwise would not be possible or be tough to get to standard.
Yeah, they're not the kind of projects you just go to the store and pick up. These are ones that we're all in on, doing everything we can to make fans super excited.
From vehicles to dioramas to one-to-one props. And when you guys announce those, it's still in like the dream state, right? You guys have conceptualized them, there's art, but when people are backing them, not necessarily knowing what the physical thing is going to look like.
We always try and get to a physical sample that we can photo and show people that stuff. But a lot of times it's still very early in the process. I think with the Cantina in particular, we started that in December. So like our normal development timelines are like 12 to 18 months. And this one, we had a sample ready to shoot and take photos of that fast. So like that one's still an early model, but it's very directional. Like it's where we're headed. So like on this one in particular, before this show, because we've been continuing to evolve and stuff over the course of the campaign, the bar area itself on this one is a much closer to production version of the bar. So much easier to assemble. That last one was very finicky and brittle in places. So we beefed things up, made it nice to assemble. So,
and we wanted to use this chance to show people who had backed the campaign, or to people who are curious about, what are the size and scope of these projects.
Yeah, you can't appreciate it until you're in front of it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so walk me through some of the features here and talk about the journey of getting it to this latest prototype.
Okay. Well, it's all of these projects, they're just so massive. I can try and pull one of these sections out and we can talk about this. So part of the fun of the HasLab here, of the Cantina, is just the modularity of it. So you can do this sort of thing. Like if you've got a shelf space that's not this or a coffee table in the middle of the room, you can take it and orient it in different ways. So this can go on a nice shallow shelf. You can create that front scene. And the same with all the different modules of the different booths around there. So
it's made for both play, of course, but
and display,
display for collectors like me.
Because especially the Cantina, I mean, it is a wretched hive of scum and villainy, and you want to have figures all over the place. So to be able to do that was really important.
Well, speaking of someone who likes to photograph their figures and their sets, it's almost like having a mini studio where you can light it and have lights, embedded practical lights. You can kind of set up however you want.
We did stuff like that for the tables here, like up inside. Made sure that this light in the middle that's transparent is hollow on the bottom, so you can put a little light up inside if you want to light those up like they were in the movie. And trying to do things like that to really embrace what people might want to do for photography. All the little red and blue lights that are back in the alcoves. See, do I have one of those? So these little lights, if they pop through, so they can be backlit and light up like they're glowing in the show. So, and then all the walls and stuff of the different booth sections can come off, so you can pull the back wall off just like in the studio and shoot through an alcove.
Is it fair to say that the bar area was the most challenging to not only get right, but to make as a product?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, as anybody can see looking at it, it's very rich in detail and pipes and all sorts of stuff. I mean, part of the challenge there is how do you make it friendly enough to a customer to assemble without it getting frustrating, and then all the details just everywhere. Like some of that is well-known pieces and stuff from existing equipment.
Yep.
Well,
you ran for the longest time, parts of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you're well versed in
bits and pieces. Yes. Yeah. So some of this is based off of real things and scaled down off of real measurements. So trying to be super accurate that way.
And in terms of filling it out, because it's the diorama, it's the set, they're the figures. You guys just announced this week at the panel a whole new line of what's coming out.
The rest of this case here is all new stuff too. So
I love this.
The armor is forged.
So cool.
This was especially exciting. So I think we managed to keep this one nice and close to our chests and really surprise fans with it. But you can see in there, like all the blue flame stuff is all transparent, again, so that people can light this and really get some great photos. We released a couple kind of like fan photos stuff that we did just to highlight what was possible. But yeah, really cool. Grogu with his little medallion there.
Yeah.
So.
And I already see it at the shelf at home. Has that almost 360 direction that you can appreciate.
Just trying to embrace the displayability again on that stuff.
And then a blurg.
The blurg's great. Like for vintage collection, back to kind of classic creatures, and like he's got ball joint shoulders and stuff, and then even a little ball on his tail, so all posable.
Wow.
Great new updates to Mando there with ball joint hips, so he can really like pose out nice. So. Yeah, super fun stuff.
So where is this in terms of the
development?
Yeah.
Well, we're looking at final files now and approving those, getting ready for production. So we'll be starting to cut steel probably for the molds fairly soon. Now that the campaign's funded and we know exactly where we're going, like we'll get into the figures and double check those we call them check models. So checking those files, making sure that it's going to work for production, print those out, do another final fit and finish, and then start working on the molds, the tooling to make the final product.
And you're working on multiple things staggered because you have Ghost.
Yeah, because we're finishing up the Ghost. When I was over there, it was final tweaks and updates to the deco just to make sure it was as pretty or prettier than everybody has seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one's, I'm really excited. I can't wait till we get that in hand, and it shouldn't be too long, I hope.
For you, is it the vehicles or the kind of set locations that are more fun to work on, and what can you say about things you have percolating in that brain of yours?
There is a lot percolating. We are like I said, our development schedules are 12 to 18 months. So I mean, you can do the math and figure out how far out of stuff I'm already working on, and it varies because we're doing very early thoughts on some things, and then more final stuff that we just aren't ready to talk about yet. So, but I think for me, the most exciting part are these really high complexity things, whether it's a vehicle or a big giant offering like this. I think just the complexity and figuring out like how to make everything work just right and how to bring all those pieces together. Like that's what excites me.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for your time. I know there are some other pieces from other HasLab campaigns.
They're
being shown for the first time, so I'm gonna go check those out as well.
Yeah, right over there. It's awesome. Yeah, I got to see that one at the factory too, double check some stuff, and I like the final updates on that have been really fantastic. So
really
I can't wait for the team
time.
to show you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Norm.
So now I'm here with Emily from the Hasbro team. Emily, so good to see you.
Lovely to see you as always.
So last time you actually visited our studio, our shop, where you and the team got to show us some early prototypes of the 2-in-a-Box set.
We sure did. Thank you so much for having us, by the way. It was a lovely trip.
So much fun. But these are the latest prototypes.
Yes, so I believe these are FEP prototypes, which is our final engineering prototype. So we're like most of the way through the prototyping process on this, which means we've started to see final packaging artwork. We're seeing kind of the final finishes on things. So it's been really exciting to see the evolution of this item since we last visited you.
And it's been fascinating for us as fans to see that product development cycle. So even when the campaign's announced, when it gets funded, you guys can still tweak things. I know Zach and your team still working on electronics, getting feedback from experts and fans and internally, so that's a continuous thing up until the last minute to make it as perfect as possible.
Yeah, and it's really interesting with HasLab campaigns because we kind of develop things in a backwards sense almost, because you need to have a working model for campaign launch. So you expedite kind of a one-off model, and then you go back to the beginning and then start the actual development process.
Right.
So it's really cool to see the differences between the original prototypes and all the HasLabs and the final product, and see like the little kind of tweaks that the team has made to make sure that they are the best possible items that everybody can get.
Can we take a closer look at things in this version that you want to shout out?
All right, one, PKE meter. And note that on the final product, so the codes are part of our engineering prototyping process. So this is our PKE meter. It's a little bit of an earlier version, but she's still looking fabulous. And then this is the stand that it comes with. It also comes with a holster so that you can wear it in your belt or display it on your tabletop of choice.
I've noticed some of the weathering also put in here, some of that deco. Yeah,
and that should be almost final deco on that one. And then for this trap, so we have our stand here.
Mm-hmm.
It is attached to our pedal.
That's a beautiful looking pedal.
Right?
Just like parts like this are, I'm sure, not easy to.
Yes, and there's so many details, and it was so cool. Working with the Sony team, as you guys know, is absolutely incredible. They are such amazing licensors, but they sent us movie props that we could actually look at. And then Tony, our master model artist, I sat and watched him color match by hand a version of the trap, and it was an incredible thing to watch. It is a skill set I have in no way, shape, or form myself. And then one of the things to note on here is this is movable, so you can either have it in the top position or the side position.
Mm-hmm. And I'm feeling, real hardware, cold to the touch.
Yep.
Die-cast parts.
And,
oh, yeah, that feels good.
And so this is, as always, we are learning from our past. And so these are now standard cable connectors. So if something happens to your cable in the future, this one is pretty sturdy, but if you would like a shorter cable or a longer cable, or somehow you just happen to misplace your cable, great news, it is now a standard size and you can just buy another one.
Is that something that you're just sourcing?
Yes, so this is a sourced part that our factories are working on for us.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Why,
and here,
why tool
and I will trade you. So it's heavy, get ready.
Hey, wow.
Right?
And of course,
it's hefty.
Yeah. So good.
And I know one of the things that Adam liked when we were at the workshop was actually being able to roll it on the floor, and it rolls beautifully. We were actually testing it on the carpet earlier, which is a little hard to do with this many people in the booth, but if you wouldn't mind taking my word for it, I promise it still rolls very nicely.
Well, I know for the wide range of products, because it's, consumers of all ages, you have to go through some pretty rigorous just usability testing.
Absolutely.
For something like a HasLab product, does that go through the same process?
It does, and it's actually interesting. So these went through even a kind of a slightly different round of testing because of the holsters that they're in, especially the trap. So there's a V-hook on the back, so that the holster for the trap actually attaches to your belt and has a matching one of these. So we did a ton of durability testing on it to make sure that if you're a Ghostbusters cosplayer and you're wearing your trap on your belt at a convention, that you will not encounter any problems with that holster, because we want to make sure that this will be safe and secure.
And you're including considerations for people who are going to take this to another level, who are going to integrate, maybe their own augmentations, their own...
We know that Ghostbusters fans are very into the do-it-yourself aspects of the community and love making modifications. Legally, my legal team would like me to say that these are toys and you should not make any modifications, but once they're in your hands, I can't really control what happens. Except for the PKE, I will, just to clarify, it has a taser mode, but it is not a real taser. Please do not make this into a real taser. It's a toy. Don't do it.
Were you guys able to get a sensor in there? So it still has that sensor where you can have it actually activate.
It is, the EMF detection on the PKE meter is incredible. So this one does not have batteries in it, so we can't test it out. The boys have, they have a working model that is around the booth somewhere, but it is watching, so our electrical engineer, Zach, worked so hard, and it is so cool to actually watch it work. So if you scan this, it'll light up for all of the different electrical pieces when it senses currents. Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's an industrious fandom, and you guys are, the engineers on your team, incredibly talented.
Yes.
So fun.
Our entire development team has been absolutely crushing it on Ghostbusters product and all of our HasLabs. So I just feel like I am so lucky to get to work on all of this.
Now, I know Adam can't wait to get his hands on this to check it out, so I know the next time you viewers out there will see this on our channel will be in Adam's hands when he gets to check it out. These are campaigns like the one, the Cantina, the Tuna Box. These are wrapped, so it's an example of like later in the campaign.
Yes.
But there is a new one.
Oh gosh, there sure is. So we are currently in funding for our newest G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab, the Cobra Rattler, and we can head over there and check it out if you'd like.
I would love to.
Okay, perfect.
Let's do it. So Emily, this is the new one.
Yes, this is our brand new HasLab, launched 2 days ago. So this is our G.I. Joe Classified Series Rattler for the Cobra team, as you can see by the plethora of snakes. And we are very, very excited about it. It actually hit base funding yesterday, so it is now the second fastest funded HasLab of all time.
Oh my God, so still like a month and a half left.
Yes, and you have plenty of time to back this campaign. And also note, if you are at all interested in backing our HasLab campaigns, that your card is not charged until the campaign closes. So in this case, your card will be charged at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time on September 9th.
And as we're speaking to Chris and you about like the process of development that these things go in, it starts with a, at the point where you get a physical prototype, it is a handmade thing, and this is that prototype.
Yes, this is the one prototype, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So it is actually made out of resin, so it's a little bit heavier than the final version of the plane will be, but we think that it is an absolutely gorgeous model and does a great job of just speaking to the absolutely monstrous scale of this item. Yeah,
it's a 1/12 scale airplane.
Yes.
You know, obviously design-wise inspired by like the A-10, you know, the jets, and the thing that won the riveting on here
is gorgeous. Lenny refers to it as the greeble, and all of that, it's the extra details that make the G.I. Joe Classified Series line so special. It is that attention to all of those very realistic elements.
and what I'm also noticing now, these fire effects for...
Yes. Oh, this thing comes with blast effects and missiles and bombs, and it is... So we want you to be able to customize it the way you would like. It comes with different decals. It comes so you can really customize your loadout and what it will look like on your shelf or in your display.
Is the idea that those flame effects will be translucent, so
yes,
it lights in?
There are a little bit. They will have more of the translucent plastic, as you can see in the center, and then they are kind of modular in where they can go into. So there are different blast effect ports on the actual plane. But then, as you can see, like this very long blast effect is attached to the end of this missile. So it really is kind of a create your own story environment.
I love it. And of course, the full cockpit is detailed out.
Yes, and it lights up with all of the cockpit details. So the whole thing lights up. It is very, very pretty. There's also on the other side of the plane, there's a battle damaged optional side panel that you can add that also lights up.
And that's just in the base?
That's in the base offering. So we have 3 unlock tiers. We are almost at unlock tier 1, which is a set of 3 embroidered patches that allow you to kind of declare your allegiance to the Cobra Air Force. So that will be at 11,000 backers. At 14,000 backers, we have our Rattler Gunner, who is featured, the figure featured here. So he comes with 2 different human heads, 1 helmeted head, so that you can essentially troop build with him, not have them all look the same. And then our 18,000 backer tier is an all-new Baroness pilot figure. So she also comes with swappable hair. She comes with a helmeted head, so you can really kind of build this out. And then, how could I forget, our pilot, Wild Weasel, comes with the base offering.
Wow, up to potentially 3 figures if it reaches that max tier.
And the great thing about G.I. Joe HasLabs is that we do full packaging for all of our HasLab figures, and they will be numbered in the G.I. Joe Classified Series sequence.
And for display, obviously, you guys have the convention space, the booth space. How is this going to be packaged, and what are the display options for people who might not have a big podium like this?
So we are really cognizant on the G.I. Joe team that, you know, we are starting to do these larger vehicles. We want to make sure that you have room to display them in your house and not just leave them in a box somewhere. And so a feature that the team has actually added into this is the wings will fold upward so that it fits on a standard, essentially we designed for a standard IKEA bookshelf width because that's the most commonly purchased bookshelf in the world. And so it will fit on one of those bookshelves.
I love all the open paneling, the look of the interior, even with the engines, and it's the blast effects that are just blowing my mind.
The development team has been working incredibly hard on this, and we are so very, very proud that this is now out in the world and that people are excited about it.
Yeah, and that this is the perfect timing to, at the start of a campaign, to see in person, where at the booth you can see stuff that's already on its way or well on its way to get to backers.
And now you can just be excited about the Rattler and go and back the campaign.
I love vehicles for 1/12 scale figures here. I know you guys also have been teasing stuff in the Ghostbusters line down the line.
Yes, we have. So we are teasing a new upcoming Ghostbusters HasLab that will be launching later this fall. So stay tuned for more details about that.
All right. Based on the teases, I think that the fans have...
We're not being very subtle with the teases at this point. We weren't subtle with the Rattler teases. We're not being subtle with the Ghostbusters teases. So we want people to really kind of get excited about what we're doing because we're excited about what we're doing. So we hope that you guys are too.
Oh, it's always great to see you and the team
always
in
lovely,
person.
Norm. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Emily.
It's been lovely.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. We have some brand new merch available at the store. A dog's age ago, I mean like 2018, 2019, this wonderful graphic designer named Brian Otterer reached out to us and sent us some stickers. He has a design firm called Dash 3 Dots, and we loved his stickers so much we wanted to sell them on the merch store. Well, he updated them with our new logo, and we've got Adam in Martian spacesuit sticker. We've got Adam in the shuttle suit sticker. We've got Adam in the Apollo suit sticker. And my personal favorite, Adam in the alien spacesuit sticker. Get yours now, tested-store.com. Hey! me.